case, we will get into some of these pain rewrites, I feel. Might as well. Okay. I got a couple of these. So the whole thing with the pain arc that I don't like is mostly at the end. It's mostly just Nagato accepting Naruto's answer and how Naruto came to that answer, Naruto's characterization, Nagato's characterization at the end there, mostly. But it's also speaking on, like, the rest of the arc as well, with the Jiraiya versus Pain fight, in terms of, like, how narratively it's done. I just don't think it holds consistently the way it should, or the way it needs to. It feels nice and inspirational, but I feel like it's almost delivering two different messages. Maybe not necessarily contradictory, but I'd argue probably contradictory. But I think they could have done the ending a lot more solidly, even if it feels nice. But anyways, also just a couple different things that I would do. So the first one we already talked about. Iruka sacrifices himself in the place of Hinata. And that's actually an idea from Blue Star Kamui, which is funny.
Okay.
Yeah. So actually, okay, this is the interesting idea of this, in addition to everything that we said about Iruka previously. So this is Naruto losing his mentors in order backwards. So
That's
his
what I was saying
mentors
earlier.
was
It's his first mentor.
yeah.
Yeah.
But keep in mind, like, this is cool because, again, it's in order backwards. Like, it's not just his first mentor. He gains his mentors of Iruka, then Kakashi, then Jiraiya, then he loses Jiraiya, Kakashi, Iruka. Going back to the very beginning. And again, when he activates Nine Tails there, that'd be freaking cool. Yeah. And this sucks because the second rewrite here for the pain rewrite is the Neji hostage situation, and I have in parentheses, new added info from Kamui private call. So Kamui, why don't you tell me what info we exchanged in that private call we had?
I have a strong suspicion that you didn't write any of it down.
Wow, how'd you guess? We could just recap.
Like every time. This is why I always say that we need to write these things down. That's why I write my stuff down now, because we never remember.
Yeah. That's okay. We'll just recap the Neji hostage situation really quick. So, okay, just to give an idea of what the hostage situation is in general. So if you remember Nagato's backstory, you see Hanzo kidnaps, like, Konan and tells Nagato to kill Yahiko or he's going to kill Konan. That's like the hostage situation. And that's like something that we reference a lot. And then you have a couple other instances. You have, at the beginning of Naruto, during the bell test, Kakashi captures Sakura and tells Naruto to kill Sasuke right now, or he'll kill Sakura. And then Kakashi's like, yeah, Naruto, stuff like that happens all the time in the Shinobi world. So when it happens to Naruto, that's showing that it actually does happen, and that's basically what Kakashi is referencing. There's a couple other instances where it should have happened in the series as well. For example, something like that similarly happens when Sasuke captures Karin to hold hostage against Sasuke. We see how Sasuke deals with that. But the point I'm getting at is, because Nagato's testing Naruto, Nagato should have put Naruto through something similar that Nagato went through. So Naruto should have confronted the hostage situation for real, especially considering he practically did at the very beginning of the series, as a callback to that. When Kakashi offers him what he would do, Naruto has no idea, but that obviously wasn't real because Kakashi wasn't going to do anything. This time, Nagato has to actually confront that and face whatever action he's going to make in an actual life or death scenario for his hostages and for himself against an actual enemy. So before I even get into this, who do you think would be best for Naruto to have this hostage situation play out with when he's fighting the Paths of Pain? Like, for example, we've mentioned Hinata could come down, Sakura could come down, Iruka could come down. If you have your own character you want to mention that could come down to be a hostage that Pain takes hostage, you're like, Naruto, kill that person over there or this hostage dies. Who do you think would be best? And how do you think the hostage situation should, like, narratively play out?
I don't know.
Or do you even think the hostage situation is like worthy addition in the first place? Like, would you just not do this given all this context?
I don't think I would do the hostage situation thing.
Interesting.
Because to me, I don't really think about Pain as testing Naruto as being a thing. He doesn't like. I feel like him recognizing Naruto as being like him is a thing that only is coming later, once Naruto is actually talking to him face to face.
Okay.
Like, I feel like the words Naruto says to him are the only time when Pain's making that connection at all. Where like it like triggers the memory of who he used to be.
Okay. So you agree with that as well when Nagato is like giving him his cycle of hatred speech, and at the end of the speech, Nagato asks Naruto, "What would you do?" And Naruto says he has no answer. He's like completely defeated. Do you think that applies there as well?
Yeah, because Pain didn't have an answer.
Well, no, like his whole he did give an answer. It's like the spreading the tailed beasts was this answer.
Sure. Not a good answer.
But again, that's like the point, is that Naruto didn't have any answer.
Yeah.
So Nagato's bad answer was better than no answer at all. At least Nagato's doing something. He has an idea of what to do. Naruto didn't even have an idea of where to start.
Yeah, but I feel like Naruto's idea of not destroying the world was better than Pain's idea of destroying the world. I feel like that's where that conversation goes.
Fair enough. The point though is
like,
that the world
it's
is
more about
yeah. Go ahead.
It's more about like still trying. Like Naruto is about trying to do better and not, giving into hatred or whatever.
Yeah.
So
No,
I feel like
that.
I feel like admitting he doesn't have the answer is part of the difference. Like thinking that you know how to solve it rather than you're prepared to do what you think you have to do to solve it is a thing. I don't know.
Where I'd say something important to note here is that I think an answer is important because the entire series up to this point has made it very clear that there's huge problems with the shinobi system in the ninja world as a whole. Even way back in the Land of Waves, Zabuza and Haku's whole thing is that they're corrupt from the shinobi system and that there's like victims of it. Like everyone is a victim of it, which is why Naruto wants to change the world in the first place. Naruto's always wanted to change the world. So the world does have problems, which means you need an answer, because having no answer, the world will just continue to have the same problems, which isn't an answer. So having no answer is ironically paradoxically not an answer. So I feel like,
but we're not at the end of the series. The answer is punching Sasuke's arm till it explodes, and then you hold hands. That's the answer.
Yes. Which is a different
We're
problem.
just not there yet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But that's also, I think you're sort of getting onto another point.
But it's more like that Naruto presents himself in a way that makes people believe in him.
Exactly.
That's like his real superpower.
Yeah, but
because he's Sailor Moon.
And
like my main thing with Naruto is he starts out as a shonen protagonist and then becomes a shoujo heroine because he goes from wanting to be the strongest to wanting to save his friends.
Yeah. But what you just got at is
that transition, I think, is what makes Naruto a good like shonen series to me.
Okay, interesting.
Because I just think for a Shonen Jump manga series, that's the level at which this thing is going to operate at its strongest ultimately.
Yeah. But the point that you just got at is the exact point that I think makes it bad, because I completely agree with you. I think that's exactly what they were going for with that final confrontation with Naruto and Nagato. It's that Naruto, because of who he is, and because he's a student of Master Jiraiya, just like Nagato, and because of Nagato's situation, he was able to emotionally convince Nagato to believe in him, to have a hope in the world. He restored Nagato's hope as a person. That's a fine route to go. The problem is it doesn't work in the pain arc based on the way it's already been set up. It works for other arcs. Like, I think it works perfectly because that's the exact same thing they do with Neji. Naruto doesn't give an answer on how he's going to restore the Hyuga clan or whatever. He doesn't need to. The point is that he's convincing Neji that eventually he will. The problem with the pain arc is that that eventuality has caught up to him, and he has to face the ramifications of not having an answer yet. It's a consequence. He's having to suffer the fact that he hasn't had that yet. It's a mistake that he has to face, and not one that he ever overcomes in this arc. He doesn't have an answer at the end of this arc when he needs to. He can't just tell Nagato that he'll restore the Hyuga clan when he becomes Hokage. No, he needs an answer of how, because Nagato already has an answer of how. So he needs an answer that's better than Nagato, rather than just being the convincing protagonist he's always been, because of the direction they've gone to where Nagato does have an answer. He can't just have pathos, he has to have logos, because that's what they've set up. So they have to pay that off rather than going in the normal direction they've always gone in.
The problem is that Nagato's like, it's not his plan, really. It's Madara's plan.
Well,
he does have a different plan.
Yeah, that's the weird thing, is that just makes no sense anyways.
He's been... Yeah. But like, the thing is, once you've got the situation of Naruto and Nagato actually confronting each other, Nagato's position just feels much weaker. Partly, like, you look at him and he's fucking, you're like, oh, you're not doing so hot. And just like, I don't know.
Well, I'm glad you say that, because that gets into a whole other shtick we can recap real quick. So, Kamui, this is the one that you hate. So, we're going to assume that when, Hinata died, just for this sake of this, we're going to assume that Nagato did do the hostage situation there. Doesn't matter with who. Doesn't matter. When Naruto confronts Nagato in the tree, we're going to have a second hostage situation. So the first one, Naruto...
You're already laughing, bro.
So the first one, Naruto fails the hostage situation. All the hostages dies, and that's why he goes into the 6 tails, 9 tails state. This time, Naruto overcomes the hostage situation, which reinforces the fact that Naruto has come to an answer and overcome the same situation that Pain was previously in that led him down this path in the first place.
So, do you mind elaborating on actually no, we'll leave it at that for now.
Yeah, what is this plan?
Well, it's the plan isn't the important part. The point is that he has a better plan than Nagato.
Well, no. What is his plan, Oodie?
Well, that doesn't matter right now. He could have some other time, maybe a follow-up stream.
Yeah. So, what is he gonna say to Nagato? Is he just gonna?
The problem here is
saving the hostages. Just break down his plan.
He's gonna tell him his better plan. What do you mean?
I thought before your rewrite. First of all, real quick, I thought your original rewrite was he was just gonna save them, and that just is like his plan.
No. It's like plot versus story. So that's him overcoming him in the plot, and then afterwards he overcomes him in the story through his answer. So it's the same thing he does with Sasuke. He fights him with his fists, and then when Sasuke can no longer fight, then the real fight begins where he fights him with his words.
Okay, so let's hold on.
Like, I will agree that like his conversation with Nagato is a little
lackluster,
underwhelming. the real conversation that matters is him with the his internal conflict when he puts the tailed beast back in the box and he's then like standing there, just him. When he turns that emote, like that's the moment for that fight. And everything else is kind of just you know, what's the musical term for like just the finale kind of thing? I don't know, but that's like the
crescendo?
climax.
The coda?
Sure, the
Sure.
coda, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's just that I don't mind that conversation is maybe not as good as it could have been.
No, I'm completely the same way. The first time
I
I read it, I thought it was absolutely great just because it made me feel good and stuff. Like, I thought it was amazing. I loved it.
Yeah.
It's just
yeah,
on
I
coming
think
back
that's
to it and
fine.
thinking about it. Because, again, like, Payne's whole thing, he's going to be remembered standing the test of times forever, probably the most iconic thing in Naruto,
Yeah.
because of that cycle of hatred speech. What is that? It's philosophy on the world itself. Naruto never really combats that.
Yeah. I guess my argument is just that, like, yeah, it's kind of unsatisfying, and I think that's fine for where it is in the story. Like, I don't think that's necessarily a problem.
Okay.
I think the emotional payoff working is more important there, I guess.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Like to solve it, you would have to have Naruto come up with an explicit answer, which I don't think is fucking easy. So,
well, that's for Kishimoto's
I
job
get
to do.
it.
But I think it makes sense for Naruto to be able to overcome that because of the
Yeah.
3 years he spent with Jiraiya. He says that all that
Yeah.
time, like he was just a naive
Yeah.
kid. He wasn't really listening to Jiraiya talking about Thor, but he still spent the time with Jiraiya there. So even though he says he wasn't really listening, he was obviously listening, considering
Yeah.
he remembered back to it. He just didn't consider the words at that time.
Yeah.
But like it could be because of the words Jiraiya taught him that he can think of an answer to confront Payne's answer.
I just think that's above the head of Naruto, like Naruto as a product,
but yeah, exactly.
And Kishimoto as a
okay,
writer,
as a product,
but yeah,
as like a manga. That's fair if you want to say that the Naruto series itself. Yeah, but I think it would make sense for Naruto to be able to come up with the answer because it wasn't even Naruto's answer at that point. It is Jiraiya's answer, which is what it is anyways. The whole point is that Jiraiya believes in Naruto. That's what Naruto tells Nagato to convince him. That is Naruto's answer.
Yeah,
his answer that overcomes and confronts Payne's cycle of hatred speech. Jiraiya believed in me. And again, very emotional. I think that works. Though even on the emotional level, though, I think it doesn't work in some regards. Jiraiya lost against Pain, both physically and narratively. Pain just defeated and overcame Jiraiya, the loser, canonical loser.
I don't agree with that.
I could argue narratively he didn't lose because of the never give up thing at the end with the toad.
Yeah, he wasn't fighting to win, he was fighting to gain information, and he gained information and passed it on. He won. He died doing it, but I don't see Jiraiya is losing that. I wouldn't say Jiraiya lost that fight. I would say he won. He just wasn't fighting to win, to like defeat Pain.
His death scene as well. He literally reflects on the main victory is Naruto as a student. So
yeah.
That.
Well, that's not his fight with Pain.
I will also say like two things.
Yeah, I know. But I think the message counts because Pain tried to stop him. So two things. One is I'm not going to go too long on this, but been doing this back and forth with Oodie for a lot of times. I don't think Naruto needs to or necessarily should be giving some specific systematic answer because one, like you said, Hank, it's not really Naruto's character. Second,
well, that's not what he said. He said it wouldn't be
overall,
working for the Naruto manga as a story, not Naruto's character.
The story of Naruto, if you were to give an answer that the story of Naruto gives, just period, throughout the whole story, it's just to never give up. Shinobi are those who endure. They fight to make the future better than it was before. That requires you to believe in yourself and the future, blah, blah, blah. That is Naruto's answer in the Pain arc. He gives
Yeah.
the answer that the story gives at the end of the series.
But that's the
So
same
it's
answer that he's
consistent
had
throughout.
since the beginning of the series, and that hasn't worked out for him up to this
Which
point
is
in the
kind
Pain
of
arc.
the point.
Yeah. Well, and we were talking about before, though. I
point is
think
that
the
is
person
always been the right answer.
Naruto
person
who-
feels
who should
defeated in the
have-
Pain arc. And the world hasn't changed
person
Yeah,
up
who
to
should
that
because
point.
Pain was a good antagonist and he made him feel defeat, which is why he needs to overcome
Yeah.
him.
Then it's
by
not a good answer.
Yeah. No, but Naruto should have
Then you
the
would've just gave that
emotional
answer
answer.
immediately.
If you want someone who should have had a specific answers that are maybe bad, it should have been Sasuke
Yeah.
alongside
does kinda
Naruto.
Which he
He's like kind of all over the place.
Well, okay, then where's the problem in that fight, Kamui? Since Naruto has a specific answer on what the Hokage means to contrast Sasuke, it's the same thing. Just replace Hokage with the world and Sasuke with pain.
What did Naruto say
Go look it up.
for the Hokage thing?
And again, that's not Naruto coming up with it. He's basing that on his experience with what? With Itachi. Which is fine. It's
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you just do the
Did
same
Itachi
thing with
tell
Jiraiya.
how to create
It's
world peace?
Yeah, it's almost the same thing they do with Naruto the Last, if you've seen that movie. Toneri is having an interpretation of Hagoromo words, whereas Naruto has the opposite interpretation. And then they fight to see which side was the correct side, who interpreted it correctly.
Okay, but first of all, you know what? Honestly, hold on a second.
It isn't that Naruto was right, it's that the side Naruto was on was right, and Naruto happened
Naruto
to be on
doesn't
that
give
side.
an answer what it means to be Hokage. He just says, you don't understand Itachi's life at all. And he thinks about what Itachi said, and he's just like, I won't let you, to Sasuke's plan.
He says something somewhere.
I mean, I'm looking at it right now.
If not, then Sasuke says it for him.
saying what the Hokage is, and Naruto's just like, do you think everyone would say yes to that? You don't understand Itachi's life path at all. There's things you can't do alone, blah, blah, blah. He
well, then
doesn't
somewhere
say what the Hokage is to him.
Do they have a whole, episode
That's
talking
not-
about it? It's somewhere. Okay,
And
there's
it's all
two
Sasuke,
sides
at least in the manga.
presented.
At least in the manga, it's all Sasuke.
Okay, regardless, the two sides are being presented, and it's clear that Sasuke's on one side and Naruto's on the other, and it's clear which side they're on. So even if Nagato himself gave Naruto's answer of the better world plan, that's fine. At that point,
Yeah,
ridiculous.
The most you get from Naruto is just the one who it's not the one who becomes Hokage who gets acknowledged by all, but it's the one acknowledged by all who becomes Hokage. That's all he says, is just regurgitating what Itachi said.
Yeah.
And here's the difference. Jiraiya didn't have an answer to peace. Itachi had an answer to what the Hokage is for Naruto to regurgitate. So it doesn't work in
But
this Jiraiya because Jiraiya doesn't have an
exactly
answer.
why Naruto should have overcome that and come up with an answer. To surpass Jiraiya, who died against Pain, trying to give that to his pupil.
I've said this before. If you want to make this as a overall story of Naruto complaint, and you think the story of Naruto should have given a different answer, then fine. But it's not a Pain arc critique. It would be the whole story that you're critiquing. And if the whole story is going to give you Naruto's answer in the Pain arc, I don't think you should change Naruto's answer in the Pain arc. Because that is the answer of the story.
If Jiraiya was so right, then why didn't Naruto die entrusting Konohamaru to Pain?
Because
Yeah.
why would he?
Because Jiraiya was so right. That's the right answer.
Why?
He was
it's not about
the answer was Naruto. Why would Naruto just kill himself for Konohamaru?